If you've watched my videos, you probably know that I kinda like Sonic games. I've reviewed a lot of them, or at least given my opinion, and I've had quite a few hot takes among those videos. It seems sometimes like I only ever like the bad games, they're the ones everyone seems to hate, like Sonic 06 or Sonic Forces, but that's actually far from true. If you watched my video on how I became a Sonic fan in the first place, then you might remember that the game that brought me to the series is Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Sega Genesis. I've played a lot of Sonic games recently, including going back to Sonic 2, and doing that taught me why I love Sonic so much. It's because of Sonic 2, the game that started my interest in the series, and dare I even say, the most fun I've ever had playing a Sonic game. But before I tell you why I feel that way, I'm happy to announce that I've brought back membership. Now there's only one tier and it's only 99 cents. By subscribing to my channel membership, you get more input over what videos I make next, you get the first responses to your comments, you get to know what's going on behind the scenes, and you get to see some of my videos a day before everyone else. If you want to join, click the button below and remember that it's only 4 cents a day. With that out of the way, let's get started. Sonic 2 needs no introduction. It came out on the Sega Genesis in 1992 on November 21st, starting a long-standing tradition of Sega releasing main series games on Tuesdays in November. It introduced Sonic's best friend Tails to the 16-bit generation, having been seen before only on the Master System and Game Gear the month before. Tails looks up to Sonic, and Sonic inspired Tails to become the hero that he is now. Having been bullied for his birth defect of having two tails by the other foxes, Miles Prower was once saved from a pair of bullies by none other than Sonic, and was inspired to use his abnormality to his advantage by swishing those twin tails together to propel him fast enough to keep up with Sonic and even fly ahead of him. Tails is one of my favorite characters in the entire series, and this game is where he gets his start. In single player, you either play as Sonic, Tails, or both, where Tails either follows Sonic or takes input from the second player controller to help Sonic beat up enemies and get rank. I usually go solo as Sonic, but sometimes I play as both and let the AI control Tails. You go through 11 zones as the iconic duo, zones almost as iconic as the duo themselves, a serene tropical coast, two industrial buildings, a battleship, ancient ruins, a nightclub, a beautiful cave, and even an oil mine and a volcano. Sonic speeds through all these locations on his way to the Death Egg, a giant space weapon created by Sonic's arch-rival Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik. These locations are all beautiful and look great, especially considering the hardware they were designed on. Sonic learns the spin dash move from Tails, letting him build up speed and launch forward, breaking enemies and other obstacles in front of him. By jumping, Sonic spins himself into a ball with quills sharp enough to cut steel, or whatever weaker material Eggman's robots are actually made out of. He can also roll into a ball while running, gaining speed by running down slopes and through loops. While pinball-style momentum physics don't make or break a Sonic game, they definitely fit this game's design quite well. Even Metropolis is fun to roll and run through, and this game is definitely a step up from its prequel. On its way to defeat Eggman, Sonic can also go on a quest to rescue the Chaos Emeralds, 7 powerful gems that grant godlike powers to anyone lucky enough to find all of them, which will definitely help Sonic on his journey. Get 50 rings, hit a checkpoint, run through a 3D tube-like stage, collect more rings, jump over bombs, and make it to the end of the tube with enough rings and you'll get a Chaos Emerald. Get all 7 and you can gain immunity to most kinds of damage and go even faster. There are 7 checkpoints in Emerald Hill alone, meaning you can go super as early as the second act in the entire game. Even if you don't, the level design is amazing to run through and lines up well with the abilities and physics of the characters. At the end of the game, you fight off against a robot that suspiciously looks similar to our Blue Blur, and then against Eggman himself. If you can land 8 hits on the robot and 12 hits on Eggman's final weapon, you get a nice ending cutscene where Tails looks up from the ground as the Death X explodes, then sets off in his airplane, the Tornado, to make sure Sonic has made it back to Earth safely. The game is the one that introduced me to the series, so it obviously holds a special place in my heart for that alone. And even on its own merits, and it's an amazing experience. This is the game that every Sonic game after feels like it was built from the sense of speed to the momentum-based platforming to the iconic stages and designs. And while I love a lot of the newer games, Sonic 2 is definitely my favorite game in the entire series. So I want to thank you all for watching. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed watching, subscribe to see more content, then. And remember that you can see my non-gameplay videos one day earlier for 99 cents a month or 4 cents a day. As always, stay safe, stay cool, and I'll see you next time.